Okay. Now, yesterday we saw this argument. Yadidam kincha tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat. This is the Shruti Vakya. This is the sentence of the Shruti. And here, one brainy person, what are they saying? What was the argument we left yesterday? If a effect is entering the cause, how it is entering, nobody knows. Okay. It's certainly not entering his head. How it is entering, it's not, nobody understands how it is entering. But somehow, this person wants to argue that the effect is entering the cause. And so, there is an elaborate scheme this person devises. This is very interesting because it's like two people are talking nonsense, and the third one we would think that will contribute some sense, but that's even more nonsense than the other two. This is where we are, unfortunately. And so the Bhashya here, what does this thing? Karanam eva chet pravishet jivatmatvam jahyat yatha ghatah mrit praveshe ghatatvam jahati. Yatha ghatatvam jahati. Just like the ghatatvam. What is ghatatvam? Ghatatvam, potness. The potness is given up. When is the potness given up? When the pot enters clay. Have you ever seen pot entering clay? No. Will you ever see pot entering clay? Never. Okay. But this is exactly what is the problem here. Suddenly there is some kind of a what is that? As I said, Kapola Kalpitam argument. When the head starts to think, at least it is manageable. But if the skull, bones start to think, then we are in trouble. And so here we are definitely in trouble. So Karanameva Chet Pravishet. So let us take one Tat, Tat Srishtva. The first Tat belongs to who? Brahman. The second Tat belongs to Jagat. Jagat entered. So somebody else, Devadatta cooked, Somadatta ate. Okay? But that doesn't work here. Why? Because of Srishtva. Srishtva means Samana Kartrikam must be there. What is Samana Kartrikam? Same Karta. So you cannot say Devadatta ate and Somadatta went. Having eaten, Devadatta went. Samana Kartrikam. Same Karta must be there. Devadatta ate and then having eaten, he went. So you cannot say Devadatta ate, having eaten, Devadatta having eaten, Somadatta left. That makes no sense. Even in Sanskritam, with the Tva Pratyaya, it doesn't make sense. So this person is all wrong. Okay. And secondly, this is the another problem is that it is viruddha. It is viruddha to anubhava. It is viruddha to anubhava. Why? Because we don't see the effect entering the cause. We certainly see the cause entering the effect. So the cause as though getting modified as the effect we see. But we don't see what? The effect entering the cause. We don't see the pot entering the clay. We don't see the baby having been born suddenly going back into the womb. It doesn't do that. Effect entering the cause. It doesn't do that. Or the chick, after it breaks open the egg, it goes back to the egg. It doesn't do that. And so therefore, this is contradictory to our everyday pramana knowledge. For Shruti to be a pramana, it cannot contradict itself and it cannot contradict any other pramana. Just like what the eyes see, the ears cannot contradict. So you cannot contradict that at all. So there should be there should be not only ekavakyata, absence of contradiction internally but also externally vis-a-vis other ways of knowing and other means of knowledge. There should be a kind of a synergy, but here it contradicts even pratyaksha. I don't observe the effect getting into any cause, so that is the thing. And so therefore this is so two things that are wrong. One is it doesn't go grammatically with the tva pratyaya. Tva pratyaya is what? The same person having done one thing is doing the other thing. Refuted, wrong. And the second argument is it goes against the observed everyday reality. It totally contradicts. Okay. And then there is another problem. So now what happens? The jiva, Brahman creates the whatever karya, all the jagat and the jiva, and then all of them enter Brahman. Is this srishti or is it laya? This is laya means the resolution, dissolution. Are we talking of srishti or are we talking of laya? Why is it called Srishti Prakarana? This whole chapter is called, it's all about creation. So it should be called Laya Prakarana, how things resolve into Brahman. Have we come here to study how things resolve into Brahman, or is this portion of the Upanishad trying to show how the cosmology of creation? It is trying to show the cosmology of creation. Then what is resolution doing? It is completely wrong. It is nothing to do with this at all. It's like some other topic. Where did this come from? It's like I'm saying, I'm talking of something. I'm talking of a wonderful walk I had by the riverside. So I'm saying I saw some goats, and then I saw some cattle. I saw the river. I saw some wonderful mountains. I saw some people. And then therefore, I have a degree in law. What is the connection? What is the connection? Where is the thing? Therefore, I'm a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, I'm a liar here. Because this is not making any sense at all. Where is the connection? No connection. And so therefore here, same thing. Suddenly the topic changes midstream. And you are not allowed to do that in your interpretation. In your interpretation, you have to pay respect to what is being said. So if Srishti is the topic, you cannot make dissolution. Srishti means what? Creation. If the creation is the topic, you should, you should go along with that. Like if you are listing certain things that belong to a certain, experience. Hat, coat, shoes, and then what should be the last one? Umbrella. Okay, that should be the correct one. Hat, coat, shoes, apple. They makes no sense. This is what this person is doing because they have a lot of extra time on their hands. Okay, and so therefore they are going out of topic. This would be the third possible criticism. Third criticism is that they are going totally out of topic needlessly. This is not Laya Prakarana. If we are listening to the Shruti that says everything resolves in Brahman, okay, fine. But here we are hardly come to the Srishti Prakarana. So kamayat bahusyam praja gegeti. That being desired, may I become many, may I multiply. And therefore the effect entered the cause. Makes no sense at all. So this is the third criticism. Now, ensuing from that, the fourth criticism is even better. The fourth criticism is this, that suppose let's just take his crazy idea on face value. Let us make the effect enter the cause. Okay. So then Jiva entered who? Brahman. Jagat entered what? Brahman. Okay. Then what for is the Shruti? How is it left? Why is the Shruti also did not enter Brahman? Because if the Karya is entering Karana, Shruti is also Karya. Words of the Shruti are, handled by a teacher becomes the transmission. Otherwise, the Shabda Rashi, the Shruti in the form of Rig Vedaha, Sama Vedaha, Yajur Vedaha, Shiksha Kalpo, Vyakarano, Niruktam, Chandasam, Jyotisham iti, all the 6 Upavedas, Upangas, Ayurveda, Dhanur Vidya, Nakshatra Vidya, Shastra Vidya, Shastra Vidya, Astra Vidya, this Vidya, that Vidya, all of them which are part of the Shruti. Artha Shastra, Nyaya Shastra, all this Tarka, all this will be what? They will also be going back into the mouth of Brahman, correct? But they are not. Why? We are here sitting studying them. We are here studying this. So that means what? There is no dissolution. Oh no, it's not yet there, but it is coming. Let it come. When it comes, let it come. Why we have to study about this now? Why we have to concern ourselves now? So that is one thing. Then the second thing is, the Shruti is also Karya. Shruti also should become one with Brahman. This is the 5th thing. 6th thing is, who is the one who is bothered by the life of a jiva? Myself. I am the one who wants freedom from what? Jivatvam, jivahood. And then, how is moksha possible? What is moksha? Freedom from bondage. Okay? So freedom from bondage is through what? Knowledge. Okay, so if the jiva is entering Brahman, there is no moksha. Already what kind of jiva is entering Brahman? Not a free jiva, a bound jiva. A bound jiva, jaded, faded, bound jiva is entering back into Brahman, causing a very terrible crisis as far as the Shruti is concerned, called Anirmoksha Prasangaha. Anirmoksha Prasanga means a situation where moksha is not possible. In fact, what is there? Nothing more than further bondage, and that's going to be pointed out in the rebuttal. So the rebuttal is very short, but we have to see logically. I have given some extra things which are not in the rebuttal, because these are all logical corollaries of what we are arguing and what we are seeing here. So we should see logically what all comes as a result of this. So karanameva chet pravishet mrit pravishe ghatatvam jahati tadevanupravishat iti shrutehe. And then the answer is this: na karananupraveshah yuktah. Karananupraveshah na yuktah. Entering the karana is not appropriate, is not tenable. It is not tenable at all. Where? Because it is not mentioned here anywhere. There is nothing that suggests that from before. There is nothing that suggests that now. Nothing is there that suggests that. And so therefore what? The karana entering is not a possibility at all. I mean the karya entering the karya. So then we have seen the reasons why. So now another person who was twiddling their thumbs till now enters the fray and says one more option. What is the option? The option was that which has been refuted earlier. Okay, if it has been refuted earlier, फिर वापस कैसे आया? How did it come back? How on earth did it come back? If it had been refuted earlier, it shouldn't have come back. That means what? It is the person's lack of clarity. Like even Arjuna's question in the 2nd chapter, in the 3rd chapter, now we will be entering the 5th chapter. Again, he will ask the same question. Why should I fight this war? That is his question. But he dresses it up in nice frocks and then trots the question out. Each time it's wearing a nice costume and you think it's a different question, but inside what is it? Same question. And so like this, a different, the same Purva Pakshi wearing a different guise comes in. It's just like a person comes into the shop and the shopkeeper recognizes him because he looks very shifty and is about to steal something. So the same fellow comes with a mustache and hat, costume, and then enters the shop. So like this, the Purva Pakshi has a little disguise. He has a beard, he has a mustache, and then what else? He has a hat. And then he gives the same old wine in new bottle. There is an expression in English. Same old thing, okay? Same old thing. Day before yesterday's khichdi, warmed up and served. Okay? Yeah. So let that not put you off from dinner. That is not what happens in the ashram. Okay? Yeah. They cook fresh every day. Don't worry. So that's what happens in Indian restaurants. That is sure. Okay. So he proposes one more thing. Karyantaram eva syaditi chet. तदेवानुप्राविशत् इति जीवात्मरूपं कार्यं नामरूप परिणत कार्यान्तरमेव आपद्यते इति चेत्. Yeah. So, very interesting. So, here, karyantaram means another karya. One effect entered into another effect. Because now you don't like what I said earlier. What did I say? Effect entered into the cause you did not like. All right. So, now here is one more possibility. A new Brihaspati is in town. A new brainy person is in town. And what does the person say? Let us say that, one effect is entering the another effect. So we are looking at the creation cosmology in Vedanta according to the Taittiriya Upanishad. I'm just giving them a little background for our friends who just joined us. And so we are looking into the what is that, creation cosmology. And there in Vedanta what we say is that the effect is non-separate from the cause. So this this expression is put slightly differently, causing a lot of tumult among various interpreters. And these interpreters live in the head of Adi Shankara, who is trotting them out one by one, so that we that we are sick of these interpretations, because they are all so wrong that when he tells one interpretation at the end, we are happy to grab that. But if that interpretation, if the correct answer had been given right at the start, then we would not have had value for that, because first all the wrong things have to be dismissed. So adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchate. There is an expression. Nishprapancham, that which is without any attributes, gains all these attributes because of these this methodology called the projection and the negation. So here various projections are offered, and we have been going through some very ridiculous ones. And here one more suggestion is there. And what is that suggestion? Why not we say one effect entered another effect? Okay, because they want to have duality. The people who are touting these objections are not non-dualists. They want to say that the individual is always, will be, should be, must be separate from Ishvara, God. Cannot be in any way connected to God. It has to be away from God. Okay, cannot be one with God. That oneness they don't accept. And so here is another very brilliant, sarcastically speaking, very brilliant proposition. And what might that be? That is, karyantaram eva syaditi chet tadevanupravishat iti Jivatma Rupam Karyam Namam Rupa Parinatam Karyantaram Eva Apadyate. Let it be like this. What should it be? Karyantaram. So let the entry be of one kind of an effect, assuming a Namarupa. One effect assumes a Namarupa. You only said the whole Jagat is full of name and form, name and form. You always say that in your spare time. Even the Vedantin in the sleep does japa. Nemaya namaha, formaya namaha, name and form, name and form, name and form. You keep doing japa all the time. I'm not saying anything. You only say this. So let it be that one part, again here they go dividing the partless into parts. Let's say that one part has become name and form. Okay? And another part of Brahman has become Jiva, which is Karya. They don't want to say Brahman entered. Because if God enters, then it will become odd for them. And so therefore, God cannot be in the world. God cannot be at all entering the world according to them. And so they want to keep the two separate. And so first, what is created? Name and form. And then the Jiva enters the name and form. So then you see this has a lot of implications. One becomes Adhara, the other becomes Adheya. Adhara support, the one Namarupa becomes Adheya, Adhara, and the other one becomes that in which it is placed. Like cup and saucer. One is name and form in the form of saucer, and the main purpose of the saucer is what? To hold the cup. In other countries, in India, the saucer has a very important function. The saucer is to share the tea. You are about to have the tea. Friend comes, what do? You just pour half and then the other person slurps it from the saucer. All right. So all arguments go when we talk of the Indian situation. They just explode. But in other countries, the saucer is just for decoration and to stop any spillage. Supposing, you're daintily drinking the tea, okay, and then little drops spill, so that they don't spill over your gown, your expensive gown. And so they spill only in the saucer. So it is to hold the spill and it is to hold the cup. So cup becomes what? Adheya, that which needs refuge. And then the saucer is what? Refuge for the Adheya. So this is Adhara. So one is that which takes refuge and which enters, and the other one is the container which allows the entry to take place. And so this person is rubbing their hands with glee because we have solved all the problems with one stroke. Very nice. So we got our Jiva as a separate entity because we don't like your position at all. We got our Jiva. Our Jiva is sitting where? In another thing that Brahman created, in another Karya, which is in the form of Namarupa. You only say that. Why should you have any objection? Namarupa, one Nama. So Jiva entered one Namarupa. Brahman entered in the form of Jiva. Brahman has become now what? Jiva. So why not take it like that? This is the thing. So then, so the argument is this. Let us see the implications. So there are two levels of the Jagat. What is one level? Gross. Things you can hold, not sukshma, sthula, yes. So, so the gross means things you can have, hold, hear, touch, objectify through the senses, through the inference, through all kinds of things. This is the gross world. What does it include? It includes everything that you see, everything that is part of the 5 elements, that has come from the 5 elements, including this body, gross. Okay. Then there is another world which is also created. What is that? Sukshma, subtle world. Okay. So this is the implication that the gross world is the Nama Rupa and the Jiva is from the subtle Sukshma Swarupa of the Jiva entered the Sthula Nama Rupa. You see how convincing it sounds? Yeah. And if the dinner bell were to ring now and we stopped it now, we would be in very dangerous waters. Thank God this came at the beginning of the class, not at the end. Very dangerous, but it looks so convincing. Yeah, that sounds all right. Why not take it that way? I'll tell you right away why not take it that way and what are the hazards of this position. We can easily see. And we will let Adi Shankara do the work. He says, Na virodhat nahi ghatah ghatantaram आपद्यते व्यतिरेकश्रुति विरोधाच्च जीवस्य नामरूप कार्य व्यतिरेक अनुवादिन्यः श्रुतयः विरुध्येरन्. Yeah. Viruddheran means you better run from here. Yeah, because you have no place over here at all. So two arguments are given in rebuttal, two refutations. First, in true Adi Shankara form, no, not at all. Why? Because it contradicts everything we know. It contradicts everything we observe. There should not be. We just now, when refuting the other one, we said when the effect is entering the cause, we don't see the chicken going back into the egg or the egg jumping into the hen. We don't see that. So the effect doesn't. We don't see the effect going into the cause. So what we observe, it is pramana siddha. It is based on the means of knowledge. It has to be respected. And so therefore here also there are two kinds of virodhas, two kinds of contradictions are there. First is, it is preposterous to think that one effect comes from another effect. Do you see a pot coming out of another pot? Adi Shankara asks, do you see a pot coming out of another pot? Even if I sat with one pot and said, please multiply, will it oblige? No. Pot doesn't come from another pot. Where does pot come from? Clay. Its cause. It doesn't come from karya. One karya does not give rise to another karya. Even if it does, then it becomes karana for that karya. It's a local karana. That's different. And here it is so preposterous. Adi Shankara has no patience with these people. And Adi Shankara says, you know what? When have you seen? Nahi ghatah ghatantaram apadyate. It's a blatant contradiction. Blatant contradiction. Have you ever seen a pot come out of another pot? No. Okay. Then the second reason he gives is that Vyatireka Shruti Virodhat cha. Virodhat, because it is contradictory to something called Vyatireka Shruti. What is Vyatireka Shruti? Vyatireka means different. The Shrutis that establish, Shruti means Upanishads. Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita, which establishes the separation of the indweller from the body. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumarai yauvananjara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra na muhyati. An important verse from the Mundakopanishad. Bhagavad Gita, which chapter? Chapter 2. Very good. Yes. Abba. I feel validated. So from chapter 2, Dehinaha, the Dehin means the one who is in the Deha. That's why Deha in. Okay, in the Deha. The indweller in the body is the same. The body keeps changing. So, you will show me a photo of yourself when you were 10 months old, and you will say, this is me. Somebody can show me a photo of themselves when they are 10 months old. This is me as a baby. And what is the age of the person now? 92. Then what will I say? I see the resemblance. That time also you had no hair and no teeth. So, so I see the resemblance. So, so therefore, this is the same person, even though the fellow has no hair, no teeth, can't see properly, still is very proud of the 10-month-old photo. This is me. The same unchanging me has persisted through Kaumaravastha. Kumaravastha means young age. Yauvana, youth, and Jara. I'm convinced that the word geriatry has come from the Sanskrit word Jara. Jara, old age. So in childhood, youth and old age, the same I keeps on claiming, this is I, this is I, this is I. The I remains the same, the body undergoes various modifications. So that means what? So the jiva is different from the body. And so what is their contention? The jiva has become one with the body. If the jiva has become one with the body, all the wonderful shrutis that tell us, so that we get a little bit of space from the sorrow and the pain, you have to see the I as separate from the body. And it is very easy to see the I as separate from the body. Waker, dreamer, sleeper. It's all the same I, but then what? Waker is me, I am not the waker. Dreamer is me, I am not the dreamer. The I is the one that inheres through all the various avasthas, states, without being any one state. And so that means what? There is a difference between the Deha and the indweller, and the whole Vedanta Shastra rests on this difference alone. If the Deha, I was as good as the Deha, then what would happen? No Vedanta would work. I would be crying, I am thin, I am fat, I am too tall, I am too short, and I am as good as the body. So if I am as good as the body and that is the reality, then again we have the dreaded Anirmoksha Prasanga. Moksha is not possible. Why is moksha not possible? Because if I am as good as the body, that is the starting point of samsara. Everybody who comes to study Vedanta wants to know I am not the body. I am other than the body. This is established in all the religions. In no religion they say you are as good as the body. In all the religions they say that there is something else. Soul or whatever you want to call it. So here too, this is something which is there. This is there here, and you are not just the body. Body is of course you, but you are not the body. Body of course belongs to you, but you are much more than the body. This is our bread and butter. Without this, we can't have any kind of this thing. We cannot have any Vedanta at all. This is in fact our bread and butter. What is our bread and butter? Our starting point is to see for ourselves through understanding the three periods of three experiences, universal three experiences. What are they? Waking, dream, sleep, deep sleep. So in that you see that the I is the same, but the status of waker, dreamer, sleeper changes, and in all three periods of time, such as childhood, youth and old age, the body changes, but the I is the same, the unchanging I. The unchanging I, this is what is our ticket to freedom. This is what is the ticket to moksha, free ticket, if we understand this much. And this is where the starting point of Vedanta is. So when the person first comes, we say to them, there are only two things in the world, you and not you. And anything that you can objectify, anything you can observe is not you. So what can you objectify? Oh, all the photos in the room. Yes, great. What else can you objectify? The mats. Yes. And we can, and then what? Fan, light, computer. And all these people, I can objectify all of them. Then what about, what is one thing we are forgetting? Like the 10th man, you're forgetting your own body. In the hurry to objectify all other bodies, your own body is missed. What about your body? Oh, that, yeah. I can objectify that too. What about your mind? Yes, that's why I can say, I observe that I am about to get angry. So please, for your own safety, run away from here. I can tell the other person. For your safety and for my mental health, please leave from here. I can tell the other person. That means what? I am the observer of the mind. I also observe the senses. Today my eyes are not functioning very well. Something is very weak, blurry. Why? Did a lot of computer work yesterday. That's why I can't see well. I am the observer of the senses. So then anything I observe, what is the maxim here? Not me. Who am I then? The indweller that observes anything itself cannot be observed. This is our Vedanta 101. Okay? And then if the body were as good as Atma, first of all, Vedanta is not possible. I won't say Vedanta is not needed because the person is suffering. Because anything that is happening to the body is happening to him, happening to her. The person is keeping on saying, Ayyo, what is going on? What is going on? Save me. Trahi mam, pahi mam, help me, save me. Person is looking to be saved, but then feels enslaved. This is the problem. And so therefore, there is no way out of this. Because if the body were really to be me, then the Vedanta cannot be a solution. Vedanta can only be a solution because the observer is I and everything else is not I. The observer is self-evident, meaning I know that I am the observer of everything without needing to objectify myself. The I need not be objectified and it cannot be objectified. It need not be objectified because it is self-evident. Everything else is an object, becomes evident to me. I am what? Self-evident. Self-evident I. And this, it's like the bread and butter being, our whole curriculum has been snatched away by this argument. Forget 6-month course, there's not even a 1-day course possible. Nothing is possible. All the manuscripts, Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Aparokshanubhuti, Vedanta Dindima, Advaita Makaranda, what else is there? Yati Panchaka and Sadhana Panchaka, Kashi Panchaka, and then some other things are there, some other 2-3 Panchakas are there. Manisha Panchaka, Maya Panchaka. Yati Panchaka, that is called, Yati Panchaka, everything is gone. Panchaka means group of 5, pentads, 5 verses. Then Ashtakas are also gone. Shatkas, Nirvana, Shatkam, group of 6, gone, 6 verses. Ashtaka also gone. Totaka, Ashtaka, gone. Gurvashtaka, gone. Only thing we are left saying is Tata Kim. So what? That's all we can say. That's all. Even God cannot save. If this is the reality, God will say, well, you asked for this. And Adi Shankara explains this very well. I mean, so you understood the problem with this, right? Yeah, you understood the conflation. So if one karya, if the jiva enters the body, one karya enters the other, then it becomes one with it, because the karya is now non-separate from the karya that it has entered. Then there is no karana karya bheda, and then the jiva becomes the body. But that is not observationally or experientially true. And that which is experience goes against experience, we cannot really take, even if it may be a pramana. Adi Shankara says, if 1,000 pramanas in the world, if the 1,000 shrutis means holy texts, if all the holy texts of the world come together and say, you know what, the nature of fire is as cool as ice. Don't take them. Do not believe that Shruti. Go with your observation, because what is called a Shruti should not contradict your Pramana, all your own observation. So here your own experience as being separate from the body is contradicted. And then again we have Anirmoksha Prasanga here also. Moksha is not possible. Moksha is not possible, because I am as good as the body. So then where is the moksha possible? Because you have stolen away all our curriculum. And so what else, So this is what is called Vyatireka Shruti. So go back to the Bhashya again. Vyatireka Shruti Virodhat cha. Vyatireka means the Shrutis, the holy texts, the sacred texts that talk about the separation of what? Of the body from the indweller. They would all be rendered useless. It's a blatant contradiction. It would be totally useless. And then what? Jivasya, furthermore, for the jiva, namarupa karya vyatireka anuvadinyah shrutyah viruddhyeran. Viruddhyeran means they will all become redundant. It will go against, this argument goes against those vakyas, those sentences in the Shruti which reaffirm the difference from difference of the jiva, the indweller, from the effect which is name and form. So they would just go against that. So that is the first objection he gives. And if this is understood, because you see what happens is that the body becomes as real as the jiva, both belonging to the same order of reality in this case, because both are what? Effect. So pot enters pot, and then so jiva enters name and form, and so jiva becomes as real as the body and identifies with this body, and so those assumptions are going to be pointed out now. So tadapattau moksha asambhavat cha nahi yatah मुच्यमानः तदेव आपद्यते नहि श्रृंखलापत्तिः बद्धस्य तस्करादेः. This is a very nice thing. So tad apattau, in that context, if this is to be the case, if this is what obtains as the argument, this means what? Jiva is a karya, and then namarupa, jiva is an effect, namarupa is an effect, jiva entered, one effect entered the other effect, then moksha asambhava, no moksha is possible. How are you going to tell the student you are separate? Because the student is not separate. And how is there is no teacher also possible, because the teacher also has dehatma buddhi, the student also has dehatma buddhi. So if the student has dehatma buddhi means deha aham iti buddhi, I am as good as the body, this kind of thinking. This for the student to have, okay, chalo, maaf hai. Poor thing doesn't know. You forgive the student for having the wrong understanding, I'm as good as the body. But here what? The teacher also is teaching the same thing. You are as good as the body. Why? Because the teacher also has, in the form of one effect, has entered and become one with another effect. So the teacher also suffers from Dehatma Buddhi. So if there is no teacher and the student also is not discernible, because everybody is suffering from thinking I am as good as the body, then how is moksha possible? First all the shrutis go waste, okay, and then what? We make such shrutis into props, because in India many things are like this, yeah, even though they may have 4 legs, they are 3-legged, all right. And so underneath one leg you have to keep some cardboard and all that. So one Upanishad you can fold and keep, okay. If it's a small little gap, Kena Upanishad, 2 pages will do. You fold and put there as a prop. If it's a big gap, chand ho gaya, you fold and do. And so that this is the Shrutis are useless, and there is no teacher possible, because what will the teacher study? Teacher had to have been a student. There is no student possible. There is no teacher possible. The teacher cannot teach the student, because the teacher suffers from samsara just like the student. So, so there is no, so anirmoksha prasanga means no freedom is possible. All right, let no freedom be possible, no problem. But then what? It is more bondage. Not only is the fact that there is no freedom, it is more bondage. It's like a person escaping the handcuffs. So the police caught up with this thief. Thief was running, and then the thief tripped on with the police in pursuit. Thief tripped on a stone and fell, and whatever he was carrying also fell. So some police took away that and gave it to the person or the shop from where he had stolen. And then what? The other police handcuffed him. Now, having been handcuffed, what does the person do? Go in search of another pair of handcuffs. Does that make sense? Already handcuffed, what will the person do? The person will look for an accomplice with a blade to saw off the handcuffs. Will not phone a friend. Let's say he finds some sympathetic person on the road, borrows their phone and calls a friend. And what does he tell the friend? Please, I'm suffering over here, bring me a pair of handcuffs. Will he say that? No. The already cuffed person seeks to be free. So here, the person already is confused, thinks the body is Atma, our body is me, I am the body. There is complete conflation. And for such a person, what is the problem? The problem here is no moksha is possible. It's like a moth unto a flame. One is going from bondage to bondage. That's what it is. And so this is what he's going to say. This is what he says. Let's look at the what we chanted just now. So tad apattau, in that situation, meaning if Brahman as the jiva has entered the body, then there is no separation between what is jiva, what is body. Okay, moksha asambhavat, because moksha is not possible. So nahi, he gives a kind of a maxim. So then, what is that? Moksha is not possible because body is taken to be real. Body is not dismissed as mithya. It is taken to be real, and so therefore, no one, So here, one gets into more bondage. First, only the body was the source of bondage. Now, I itself has become the source of bondage, because the I has entered the body and has fused with it, or has become imprisoned in it, according to them. And so, first the body was a source of bondage, and here I was trying to have an out-of-body experience in one in one way or the other. And now, what? I am even more entangled, and it's just like I have talked myself into a corner now from where I cannot get out at all. And so tad apattau means when that happens, if Atma has become the Jiva in the form of the body, and the body is real, and the Jiva is also real, then no moksha is possible from the body. So everybody wants to be free from the limitations of the body, and that is that very thing from which one wants to be free, one is now caught into. First, the body was a source of bondage. Now the source of bondage has migrated to the notion, I notion. The I itself is a source of bondage. This is very, very sad. It's like the person who is handcuffed phoning a friend and saying, please bring another pair of handcuffs. I really want another pair of handcuffs. And so that would be extremely untenable. And so then, so this is also totally refuted. Now one more person is sitting there. Okay, how many people we have lost count? And this one is a little more creative and a lot more ingenious. Says, let us compare Brahman to amoeba. He is not saying that, I'm saying that, but his argument is very, I'm just giving an example of his argument. Yeah, let us compare Brahman to amoeba. Amoeba, how? Because what does the amoeba do? Yeah, becomes two. As you are looking at it, the one becomes two, two becomes four, four becomes eight, eight becomes 16, like this. Okay. So we don't need all that. We just need one becoming two. So this Brahman, like the amoeba, the single cellular, why amoeba? Because single cellular animal, it's whole, it is itself. And then it becomes two. One enters the body and the other one blesses from outside. Okay, one goes in the body in the form of jiva. Let's not forget, we should always retain the jiva at all costs. Jiva must not be murdered or compromised in any way. So the jiva should be separate. Should be separate from Ishvara, and so one becomes jiva, one retains itself, and one blesses the other one. You see, this also looks very convincing. And one says, what? Go forth and become jiva, and I will stay outside. You be inside the Namarupa. One amoeba inside the Namarupa, one Brahman, one part of this amoeba, which is itself the whole, outside the Namarupa. This surely is a solution to all these people. This person is thinking, all these people are just having small arguments. I have the big one, very big one. Of course, it is also riddled with lots of problems. And what are the problems? No inside, outside. Inside is, but there is no space, no time. Time is yet to be created. Space is yet to be created. And so, no space, no time, no object, nothing is there. So where is the inside? Pray tell, where is the outside? And so that is, of course, the beginning, the tip of the iceberg. We'll see much more another time. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shiva, I can see you right now. Yeah. Yeah.